AI-generated Joe Rogan podcast stuns social media with terrifying accuracy. Mind-blowingly dangerous. Is this more accurate than what we've seen in the past? Shout out Joel, who says, I have yet to see a style of art that these models can't reproduce. These models are 1/100th of the size of ChatGPT GPT-4. It shows you how easy it is for the ML model. Yeah, it's just a matter of...
It's definitely not wrong.
Matter of time. Like, the capability, for sure. It'll absolutely be there.
So there's a podcast going around called the Joe Rogan AI Experience.
Oh, boy.
It has 2 episodes. The first one I listened to was Sam Altman.
Yep.
And this is purely AI generated.
Yeah, even the logo here is slightly off.
The Joe Rogan.
And it's able to use that training to generate new text.
So this is Sam Altman.
And grammatically correct. And the cool thing is that the more data it's trained on, the more accurate and diverse its responses can be.
That's insane. So let's say I ask ChatGPT a question right now. It's going to use that deep learning process to generate an answer on the spot?
Exactly. And what's even more impressive is that it can also generate answers.
No, the uhs are good
style,
for him.
Which is why it's able to generate a podcast like this. It's able to keep track of the conversation and generate responses that are relevant to the conversation at hand.
Wow, that's seriously mind-blowing. So what do you see as the future of AI technology and how it's going to continue to shape the world?
Well, I think the potential for AI technology
those are auto-tune moments.
Revolutionize a lot of industries from healthcare to transportation to entertainment. But it's also important for us to be responsible in the way that we use AI to ensure that its development benefits humanity as a whole. I think it's up to us as a society to shape the future of AI in a way that's ethical and benefits everyone.
That's a great point, Sam. And it's a reminder that even though AI technology has advanced to the point where it's generating a podcast like this, we still need to be mindful of its impact and how we use it. How does it work in practice? Can you give us an example of how someone might use it?
Sure. One way someone might use ChatGPT is by asking it questions about a particular topic. For example, if you wanted to know more about a specific historical event, you could ask ChatGPT about it, and it would provide information and context on the topic. It can also have more general conversations.
Yeah, so obviously I think Joe doesn't sound like his normal self.
But why does Sam sound like Sam?
Sam sounds like Sam. It's very convincing.
It's odd because you would think there'd be way more content to train this model from Joe than Sam. Joe has more hours spoken on the internet than the vast majority of the population. Why is Joe hard to do?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I also noticed, like, listening to Joe Rogan, like, his waves of, like, volume goes up and down. But for this AI sample, it's very much like one tone.
Okay, there's one more, which is Trump. Rogan and Trump.
You want to listen to Trump?
The way they move, the way they strike, it's just amazing. The UFC is doing an incredible job. They're making it better and better every year.
Yeah, it's really something. I have to say, I was a little surprised to hear that you were into the UFC, but it's great to see
the UFC.
You have an appreciation for the sport.
Yeah, I love it, Joe.
So let's dive into the topic at hand. You've been banned from Twitter, one of the biggest social media platforms in the world. How has that impacted your life?
Let me tell you, Joe, it's been a tremendous change. Unbelievable. Twitter
has that impacted
platform
your life?
To connect with all my tremendous supporters and get my message out to the masses, the biggest masses you've ever seen. But since being banned, I've had to find alternative ways to communicate. And let me tell you, it's been a real eye-opener, believe me.
Yeah, I can imagine. So how has that led to creating your own social media app called True Social?
Well, Joe, it's simple. After being banned from Twitter, we saw a need for a platform that truly represents freedom of speech, the best freedom of speech, a place where people can express their opinions without fear of censorship or being banned for having a different viewpoint. That's why we created True Social, the greatest platform you've ever seen. It's a platform for the people, by the people. And let me tell you, it's going to be outstanding, just like America. We're the best in the world, believe me.
Okay.
They get the right vocabulary And they actually do pretty decent with tone. It's the cadence problem.
Yeah, there's an uncanniness about this. I think one of the main points is that they don't talk over each other. It's kind of like really Q&A. And I think in a real conversation, there would be stuff like that. Like, yeah, I agree. Like in the background when Trump is talking or whatever. It's more convincing that way. But in this case, there's not really much of that.
Yeah, it's the up and down and the pauses or lack of pauses or where they're placed, the inflection. It's these other nuances of conversation, communication those are the telltale. Those are the things that give it away. Mm-hmm. However, this is right now. This is early days.
Uh-huh.
And you can easily from this imagine the ways in which it could be utilized now and at a future date when it's more improved. And it's powerful stuff for sure.
And it's a 50-minute video.
It's wild.
And Joe Rogan, he listened to it, so he responded.
And he said he didn't like it, or did he find it convincing? Let me tell you, folks, this is some next level stuff we've got going on here today.
That's AI Rogan.
Every single word of this podcast. That's right. The real life Rogan tweeted, "This is going to get very slippery, kids." Yeah. Well, sure, because you don't necessarily need a 2-hour conversation for one. You just need a well done tidbit, stating something, marketing something, saying something outlandish, feeding it to the right publications, or having some sort of tactic where you knew how you were going to spread something through social media, influential characters involved. I mean, you can just envision all this stuff playing out, and slippery is the right way to explain it.
And it's just going to get better.